I think my favorite holiday was Passover, and it was for several reasons. I think the major reason was, as I mentioned, when I was 8 years old, for a variety of personal and family reasons, my father and mother decided to move away from Brooklyn, where they were part of this big nuclear Broder family with all 5 boys and their wives living basically in the same area of Borough Park, which at that time was not as religious as it is now. But they moved away to Detroit. It was a big, big move for my dad because he was very tight with his brothers. And the 4 other, my father was number 3 of 5, so they're 2 older, 2 younger, and all of the boys described him as sort of the linchpin of the family. He was the one that was the peacemaker, the mediator, the arbitrator, the leader. He was a very important member of the family. But for other reasons, it was important for him to get away from New York and from Brooklyn. But he missed his mother and he missed his brothers enormously. So even though we didn't have very much money growing up in Detroit, my dad was never a wealthy man. Every Passover, we would take the train from Detroit to New York and go back to New York for the Seder, for the Passover Seder. We couldn't afford all of us to go. That was just financially not possible. So my mother would stay home with my younger brother, and I and my father would get on the train in Detroit, and we'd sit up on the Wolverine. It was called the Wolverine. We couldn't afford a Pullman. So my mother would pack us a big shoebox full of the traditional, chicken legs and hard-boiled eggs and all this stuff, and we would sleep sitting up in the coach section and pull in. The train left at 8 o'clock in the evening and pulled into Grand Central Station at 7 o'clock the following morning. I was always very excited about the whole thing, and so I have a lot of very fond memories of getting together with my grandmother and my uncles around the Seder table. My grandfather, the man after whom I'm named, died actually as a relatively young man. He had diabetes and he had complications of diabetes, and at that time there was no insulin, so it was a very tough disease. My grandmother married again much later in life, and she married the man that she had originally wanted to marry in Poland, in the old country. When she was a younger woman, there was this man named Zalman. And Zalman was a scholar and an intellectual. But there was some problem with the dowry. There wasn't enough of a dowry or something. But for economic reasons, it was not possible for my grandmother to marry the man that she really loved. She married another man, Yitzhak Meir, my grandfather. He died. They hooked up again when my grandmother was in her 60s in Brooklyn and a widow. Zalman was a widower, and they hooked up again and they got married. Well, Zalman was a very religious man. He was a mashgiach. He was the one that koshered the meat in the synagogue, and he was the shamus in the synagogue. And so when we had the Seder, and he led the Seder, we went through the Haggadah from the beginning to the end. We didn't skip a section. And it was my only true immersion in that kind of, there was a lot of Hebrew. And we would all be really hungry and say, oh, Zadie, can't we eat? Can't we eat? No, we're going to finish the whole Seder. But my memories, to get back to your original question, of that particular holiday are always strong. So for me, Passover was a time when the whole family got together. So that's my favorite holiday.